A special edition of Studio G.
We're taking a look back at some of our favorite stories from the semester. It all starts right now. We're starting our first magazine show with a campus story we've been following all semester. I'm Chelsea Bangle.
And I'm Jordan Lorenzo. The Rebel Yell has had a busy semester from nearly shutting down to a name change. Reporter Denise Hernandez gives us a look at life in the copy room.
Yell is UNLV's student-run newspaper, but it may not be around for much longer.
Our financial issues are not well right now. We were only given $31,000 from the Student Affairs Committee at UNLV for the whole year. We need much more than that to operate. It's just barely enough to get through the semester.
The paper's budget has been downsized considerably. After a split from CSUN in 2012, the Rebel Yell has been looking for other funding options in order to get the news out.
So we've considered things like publishing less frequently. I know last year's editor-in-chief thought about having just a monthly magazine instead of a weekly paper, so a better quality product, but just once a month, and that would save us a little bit on printing. We've considered going online only. We've considered lowering some pay. We've already lowered all of the staff's stipend pay. We've tried lowering the advisors' pay without much luck, but yeah, and we've also looked at some corporate donors, different educational foundations, what they might give us. We do sell ads. Ad revenue's been going down. Just like with any other newspaper, ad revenue hasn't been going that well. Compared to last year, we're doing a lot better this year with it since we've put renewed emphasis on trying to raise as much funds as possible. However, even at this rate, we're probably only going to have about a little over half of what we need just from ads for a semester, and that's an optimistic view of it.
For right now, the paper has been going for short-term solutions while planning for the long term.
Just launched a GoFundMe. We tried launching a Rebel Raiser, but that ran into complications. I've also recently hired a fundraising director that will be handling the fundraising projects from here on out. So it's not just one thing that can be the magic bullet that will save our funding situation, but it's a grouping of things that will get us through it.
Students can help save the paper by doing several things.
Students can do a lot of things to help. The biggest thing is just to read our content and show people that the student body cares about us, and in turn that we care about you. If they want, they could join us as staff members, they could volunteer as staff members. They could also join our advisory board, which is supposed to be made up of all student members, but is currently run by several faculty members as well as professionals working in the city. That's not how it should be. It's supposed to be all students. We're a publication by the students for the students, so we should be run by students.
So the next time you feel like you're out of the loop, be sure to pick up an issue of the Rebel Yell. For Studio G, I'm Denise Hernandez.
And we are the Rebel Yell!
Back to you in the studio.
Denise is actually here with us in studio. A little bit more about this semester. Tell us. Welcome, Denise.
Hi, thanks for having me today.
So is the Rebel Yell okay now, or?
Well, we're not on life support anymore, that's for sure. We have enough money to make it to next semester, and yesterday we just revealed our new name. So we are no longer the Rebel Yell, we are now the Scarlet and Gray Free Press.
Nice.
Oh,
Did you vote for that name, or did you vote for the other one?
Well, the staff ended up picking between Rebel Review and the Scarlet and Gray Free Press. And so between the two, the majority of the staff said Scarlet and Gray Free Press.
So what did you say?
What did I say? I said Scarlet and Gray Free Press for sure.
Yeah, it gives a nice prestige to the paper, and it's a history. It's a making history moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Rebels down the line will have this name.
Yep.
And so that's kind of cool to be a part of that.
Why did you guys choose to change the name even if you guys were in danger of shutting down?
Well, semester, our former editor-in-chief, Renee McCullough, she wrote an editorial saying that the Rebel Yell name was racist because of its ties with the Confederacy. So she announced in that editorial that we would be changing the name, and we followed through with that plan. So even though we were in danger of not being able to publish next semester, we felt like we still had to do this.
Did she get another, was she one of the people that got a say in the name? Like old people with Rebel Yell, do they get to come back and kind of still be a part of the team?
Well, we put out an online survey on our website to have students choose the name. So I don't know if she was a part of it because we were aiming for current students, but if she did participate in the survey, I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay.
So what do you do at the Rebel Yell? Or not Rebel Yell anymore, my bad. It's hard to get used to.
I know. So at the Scarlet and Gray Free Press, I'm the news editor. So I manage all of the news content. I put the news in newspaper.
Oh, very
Nice.
So what do you think the
was cute.
shorthand will be? Will it be the Scarlet and Gray? Will it be the Free Press?
We're still thinking about it. We're thinking either the Scarlet and Gray, S&G Free Press, or just Free Press, but we'll see.
Nice.
Well, thank you, Denise. On to another campus story. It's no shocker that this year's presidential race had a lot of people feeling stressed out. UNLV noticed there were more students coming into their center asking for help. That's why they decided to offer free group therapy sessions to students. Reporter Ria Locke-and-Lolly has the story.
Fear is an interesting thing, and it depends on what it activates in people.
Now, after a fear-inducing election season, a lot of people are struggling to navigate through a very divided America.
What we would like to do here is provide a space for people both on campus and in the community to be able to listen and to be able to be heard with regard to processing the election cycle. When you look larger at the community and what's happening nationally with all the protests and some of the things that were going on here in Vegas, we thought it would be prudent to be able to offer those services to people even outside of the university.
The Center for Individual, Couple, and Family Counseling at UNLV kicks off its group therapy sessions today until December 16th. But just how real are these post-election fears?
If you can connect with any time where you felt like you didn't know where you belonged, you felt disoriented, you felt scared, that is very real. I think the election cycle was really difficult for a lot of people here in America, no matter who you were voting for. Now I think we're in a place of uncertainty. People don't know who to trust. They're looking around at a world where they thought they understood how people behave to one another, and now they're seeing something that they don't even recognize. And it can be really disorienting.
This post-election anxiety is sweeping the nation in many different forms. Protests have broken out in the days following the election, with many more in the works. But Hertland says large populations in America are dismissing these fears.
Usually when people get scared, they can go ahead and talk to someone that they're close to or that they care about and then that they trust. And what you saw kind of in this election, because the general notion is that we're not supposed to talk about politics, right, in public, you weren't sure who to trust or who to talk to. And so people who had a lot of questions with what happened with the election couldn't really find a safe space to be able to share that information or process it with some people.
This is Rio Locke-and-Lolly reporting for Studio G.
Rio is also here to give us a little more insight about the therapy sessions. Thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Rio. How did you kind of get a wind of this story, that was happening on campus? How did you hear about it?
I can't remember exactly. I think the UNLV News Center sent out an email about it, and I thought it was really important that students knew about this. I know a lot of people don't check their Rebel Mail, so I thought it would be a good story to do.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that people need therapy for the presidential election. Tell us more about that.
Like Catherine said in the news story, a lot of people think that this fear isn't real, but it's undeniable that there's this huge divide in our country right now, and I don't think that we can close that gap until we start healing. So I think this would be the first step to moving towards a more united nation.
And was this a free service for just UNLV students, or?
It's, well, I don't know how it is now, but initially they wanted it to be free for students and then $10 to the community. But she said if people really needed the counseling. If all they could afford was $2, $5, they would find a way to work it out.
So it
which
ended
is
up
really
becoming
nice.
like a donation system?
Pretty much, yeah. So whatever you could give, they would take. But if you couldn't afford to do it, they would still do it, the group sessions. And she said, if you're not comfortable talking about these fears in a group setting, you can also schedule a one-on-one session too.
Wow, they offer private sessions. That's pretty awesome.
How big were the groups around?
They were around 6 to 12, I believe. And they don't know how, they wanted to do it through December, but they said if people still need the counseling, they would extend it too.
And were they hour sessions or half an hour? Did it depend on what their issue was?
They
or what they wanted
were
to
1
talk
hour
about?
sessions, yeah.
1 hour sessions.
And then they also did screenings. So she said that, yeah, so people can feel comfortable talking without having any backlash. So they screen everyone that they do the group sessions with, since it's not a one-on-one setting.
Is there more than one? Sorry, Denise.
Oh, well, that definitely gives them a safe environment to talk about.
Yeah,
these
exactly,
kinds
which
of
I think
things.
is exactly what students need right now.
Definitely.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Rio.
Yeah.
When we come back, today is Giving Tuesday, and there's one more nonprofit that's always accepting volunteers. We'll take a look at the 3 Square Food Bank.
Also after the break, Mary Jane is
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam, and I host Sunday evening jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
My name is Walter from Deep Thought.
My name is Bruce Gill. I'm the host of La Alternativa.
Perfect Music Radio with me, Lily.
My name is Sam, and I host Sunday evening jazz.
I am Rockin' Gemini.
This is Jalen Young on More Than Music Mondays.
And listen to us on the Rebel HD2.
Welcome back. I'm Mary Jane Balyeza, and I have your weather report for today. Our high 56 and our low 38. We have winds coming in from the northwest at 7 miles per hour. Starting to get a little chilly, so remember to bring your jackets. A drastic change coming from last week to this week. Looking at this picture from the Black Recreation Mountain Center in Henderson, you can see the cloud coverage coming in. Looks like it's getting really chilly. And don't forget, we do have a freezing warning temperature coming in from today leading into tomorrow. Looking at the temperatures Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays coming into the 50s. Our cold weather continues into the valley, looking all the way from Centennial to Henderson and Boulder City. You can see that it's all in the 50s as well. You still have winds coming in from the northeast at 12 miles per hour going into tonight and tomorrow again. Make sure to grab your coats. Looking into 56 for Nellis and Las Vegas, 56 again. So that is still a drastic change coming in. Looking across the valley, you can see that we have a lot of warm and low cold fronts. Blustery winds continue to move towards Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. The damaging winds and isolated thunderstorms are possible with stronger thunderstorms across the lower valley and going into Mississippi and the Gulf Coast. For the Pacific Northwest, a front will move inland and spreading rain and mountain snow into California and Oregon starting today into tomorrow. That's all I have for your weather report. We'll toss it back to Chelsea and Jordan at the desk.
Thank you, Mary Jane. Well, at least it's getting colder outside. That's nice.
Definitely.
We're finally done with the heat, right?
Definitely. And, you know, it has been feeling really nice outside. You know, that we still have some sun out here in Vegas, so we kind of don't get a winter.
Exactly.
So that's really great, too.
So we get a little break, just for a little bit, not too long,
Yeah,
though.
not too bad.
No. Now we're going to see 3 Square. It's a nonprofit organization that helps feed the hungry.
Last week, Chelsea got a look inside 3 Square.
It's a year-round.
You don't get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
It's a year-round hunger. We say hunger never takes a holiday, hunger never takes a break.
According to a study done by 3 Square in 2015, about 1 out of every 6 people are food insecure in Clark County.
Monthly average, we help 137,000 people, which is probably about half of the folks that are in need of food.
3 Square is a nonprofit organization that turns $1 into 3 meals, feeds adults, seniors, and children in need in the Las Vegas Valley.
I know that I'm giving people food and helping people that are in need. It's awesome feeling, awesome feeling.
We are on task day in and day out, morning, noon, and night, to deliver huge amounts of food.
3 Square sees around 200 or more volunteers every day to ensure everything's on schedule.
They're approached by people all the time who are telling them, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't eat. So, very rewarding.
I think each one of us had a smile along with the process, so it's like each one of us put a smile in that bag.
Congrats. Hey, thanks guys. Thanks for the help, man.
Another program within 3 Square is Kids Cafe, which helps provide nutritious meals after school to children in need.
It's an after-school program to give kids who don't have the ability to get their own meals. We provide them for them. When you go home and your belly's empty and there's no food at home either, you know, that brings you down. And so when we feed them, it gives them a little bit of inspiration, makes them feel better. I went out to a school with 3 Square. It probably was my 3rd week here, and we was handing out food to people and children and families, and very heartfelt feeling that words can't even explain it.
This year, 3 Square will provide 12,000 meals to families for Thanksgiving.
Our tagline, Together We Can Feed Everyone, because that is our reality. This community coming together, we can feed everyone.
3 Square is a very important cause. To donate to them or to volunteer, you can visit their website at 3square.org.
Well, when we come back, we have a look at 2 musicians. One is a rising star and the other is heading off on a world tour.
Get to do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
The show's name is the Rebel and Revolt Show. Pretty good show about, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and we talk about, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels, and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk, and I run the Rebel and Revolt Show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
Local musicians are heading to one cafe to show off their talents to the world. Peter Lakasha has the story.
Base Cafe is to create a musical, eating, social experience where people can come, relax, enjoy, listen to the music, eat, and socialize.
Located on the corner of Karen and Maryland Parkway, the Base Cafe Grill and Terrace opened for business on August 27th by Yolanda Bailey.
I would say the motivating drive for me was to promote my son, who has taken on playing the saxophone, and the love of jazz myself, and promoting my son, Austin, would be my force behind setting up a jazz restaurant environment.
Aside from their variety of coffee and beverages, the Base Cafe also offers an assortment of delicious pastries.
What I have to offer on the menu is simplicity, comfort foods, and food that is healthy. So I have sandwiches, soups, and then salads that people enjoy eating.
The process to make Yolanda's dream into a reality, however, was definitely not an easy one.
The startup of any business is challenging. There are licenses involved, permits. I really can say that I did not sleep at all for several months.
But thankfully, customers throughout Las Vegas have said that the Base Cafe is a hit.
I love the decor, the decorations, the staff. They're very accommodating. They greet you at the door when you come in. The decor of the Base Cafe is beautiful. It looks like something out of New Orleans, the jazz accommodations that we have, the pictures on the wall. It's so beautiful.
The Base Cafe Grill and Terrace is open every day from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. For Studio G, I'm Peter Lakasha.
Again, Base Cafe is open every day from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Peter is here to tell us a little more about the cafe and the musicians who play there. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
So, how did you hear about this cafe?
It's interesting because I used to take a class here at UNLV called Jazz Combo, where all these musicians would just get together, get in a group, and play about 10 or 20 songs for a semester. And I met Austin Bailey, who is the daughter of the owner, Yolanda. So I actually knew about the Base Cafe about a year before it actually began operating in August. And he kept telling me about the Base Cafe as time progressed, where he was at in the startup process, and he always wanted me to perform there. So
did you ever get a chance to perform there?
I did actually once. I had the honor of performing at their very first Sunday morning Jazz and Brunch Festival. They have that every week, and I was the very first one.
So every Sunday they have a little festival in their
Every
cafe.
Sunday. They change it up every week. So.
Dang. So who are the other artists who have performed there?
They get as many local artists as possible. Austin has performed there quite a few times. I know a piano player named Dave Vischer who has performed there quite a few times. The list goes on and on, but it's mostly, in fact, it's probably 90% UNLV students who perform there.
Is there a reason it's just jazz, or that's just what they prefer?
I think that's what they prefer, and that's what they try to put an emphasis on. They obviously there's a lot of cafes that, like Starbucks, for instance, that have a emphasis, I guess, on pop music, and they want to kind of diverge away from that a little bit.
So do they perform only on Saturday, or is it like an every night thing? There's a artist who plays.
There is, they only perform on Sunday morning.
Oh,
so
wow.
Occasionally, I believe there is something that goes on Saturday. They do have a DJ there that is there on Friday or Saturday, but on Sunday they have live jazz music there.
That must be cool, because when you go into a restaurant, you hear music anyway. So
Mhm.
it would be awesome to see somebody perform live.
It's a completely different change of pace, right? I agree.
That's pretty awesome.
It's it's a lot different than having just, having the satellite radio or just a radio play over a set of speakers. So
what was it like when you performed there?
It was definitely really. I felt the pressure because I was the very first performer for the Sunday brunch. So
you opened it all.
I was basically the guy who opened it all. I was basically their first impression. So I had a little bit of weight on my shoulders. But I think overall, they've kept it going on, and they've had more people show up throughout the week. So I think I've had something to do with that, needless to say.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Peter.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, also on the topic of music, right now, singer Gwen Stefani and rapper Eve finished their This Is What the Truth Feels Like tour. And I caught up with the famous rapper when they came on their Vegas stop.
While obviously this is her tour and she wanted me on it, it kind of was just like, all right, how do you get back into like just being, hey girl, what's up? And towards the end, like now we're towards the end, so obviously being on stage now is so easy. Like it's not awkward. Them first couple shows, I ain't gonna front. It was a bit awkward.
Like I said, we partied all around the US.
Yeah.
And we've been looking forward to this date the whole tour.
Definitely.
A Friday night in the party capital of the entire world. Let's give it a go.
the shows went on, now it's so easy. And it's a good moment. Like, we both feel so good in that moment, like in those moments. Like, those were big moments in time in music. So I think we both feel that, like, this is a good time.
Gwen Stefani, though. Did you interview? Wow, that was an awesome opportunity.
Thank you.
So how did you get in connection with her?
I just pretty much bugged her and her people until they said, you know what, let's just let this girl at the tour. We'll do an interview with her. It was really cool because it was T-Mobile Arena. So it was kind of before T-Mobile Arena started booking all their concerts. It was really kind of early. And they just let me stand like the stage was here and I was right there, like right off the stage before the general admission. So I was really close, probably the closest I've ever been in a concert.
Wow,
which was really
how was
awesome.
that experience being so close, especially with the camera? Was it difficult or?
It was a little difficult because there was also other cameras that, broadcast on the screen. So, it was kind of a fight to get your shot in there, but it was really awesome. And I've always liked Eve and Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
So as a fan, I was like, I was awestruck,
Was it different? Was it difficult to schedule a person like that? Or
Yes, it took like a couple of years to even get to sit down with Eve.
Wow.
And even then after, we had to pretty much wait the whole concert. I know, such a tough life. We had to wait the whole concert, and then we got to talk to her after, even though we were there way before the concert to go backstage and different things. So it was probably about a 5-hour process.
Wow, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask, was that in the middle, in the beginning? So that was at the end. Was she tired? Was she open to answers?
She was really a troop. She got hair and makeup redone for the interview, which was really, really fun, and then, so we waited for that in a dressing room, and I got to talk to her dancers, her manager, a couple people, and then when it was our turn, she was kind of just refreshed and ready to go. I think it's because they do it so often that they're kind of used to, that kind of treatment.
The go, 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 go life.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
How long
To
did
me, I was tired.
How long? Yeah, I bet. Especially you showed up early,
Yeah.
so you were there the whole process.
Yeah, I was like there from like 7 to like 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
Kind of thing. That's not 5 hours, but 5 hours was about the concert and the interview and all that.
But carrying all that equipment, I'm sure that was a drag too.
Yeah.
did you actually meet Gwen Stefani? I'm sorry, just to
I
clarify.
did, but I didn't get to interview her on camera, but she's so awesome. She's really how she is in person.
I've heard she's really down to earth. Is that true?
She is. Both of them were very down to earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this awesome opportunity. I'm excited to see what you do next.
Thanks, Chelsea.
Well, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Studio G. Make sure to follow us on social media. I'm Chelsea Bangle.
And I'm Jordan Lorenzo. We'll be back tomorrow with more campus, local, and international news. Have a great day.